Pete's Pigskin Previews spotlighting 80 area high schools from 6-man to 6A as we get ready for the high school football season. Pete's Pigskin Previews are brought to you by Wayland Baptist University and Raider Pump and Supply.
Remind us how Guthrie finished up last year.
Sure, we finished up our season there last year. It was 3-7 overall. Not quite like the year before, but as far as the talent pool and what was available out there, I mean, we thought it was a respectable finish.
What's the attitude going into this year?
Well, I mean, again, we're going to pick back up and go back to work hard, right? We've seen all of our opponents twice now, myself as a coach included, and kind of know some tendencies, we hope. And, you know, the kids there, they're going to work for you regardless. But now we can kind of get down. Now we've got 7th grade kids that are freshmen, obviously, and they've heard kind of the play calls and understand kind of our sets, O and D, and hopefully it's match up with these kids that are ahead of them.
How many are back offensively and defensively starter-wise?
So we're going to return 5 on both sides that have, you know, experience playing for us, you know, in some different positions, capacities, but 5 on both sides.
What do you think the strength will be for the Jaguars?
Skills. I think the year before we were kind of on the other side of that where it was a little bit more heavy up front, O-line, D-line, but now we've got some skills and some kids that are coming out. I expect we're going to be a little bit quicker on both sides of the ball, and then a little bit more range, I think, on both sides as well.
And talk about your non-district schedule.
Sure. We're going to go Paducah, then we'll have Lorenzo, then we'll have Hart, and then we're going to go Benjamin, Chillicothe, and then we'll finish out with Rule before we jump into district. And that's still that schedule there being competitive. I think 4 of those teams I just mentioned were top 15s at one point in the Class A, right? So half the field we played went second round of the playoffs. So competitive for sure, but at one point, you know, you look at talent and you see kind of if this is the best there is to offer, we're all going to learn something, obviously. So we're going to play that lineup in our non-district schedule.
And then, obviously, hopefully that gets you ready. Tough district.
Sure. Well, you dump into our district and you're looking at the likes of Jayton, and again, you've got Motley County, Aspermont, us, Patton Springs. I mean, you know, those first 2 I mentioned between Motley, Jayton. I mean, I hate to say it again and be cliche with it, but they reload, and they're well coached, and that's just kind of the program. Those are their expectations there. So when we're making comparisons to ourselves, those top 2 in our district would be fair programs to look at and say we probably ought to try to emulate, or, you know, we need to be working as hard as those guys are regardless.
How are numbers? Because I know the kids are all spread out there.
Sure. Overall, right now, leading into the season, we're looking at about 11 kids. 4 of those are going to be freshmen showing up. But again, I've had them since they were 7th graders, and they put in the work and seem eager to get in there and contribute. So we'll have a senior on top, 2 juniors, 2 sophomores, and then that 4 bolted on, you know, kind of those freshman kids in there. But I think there's going to be some competition in there now, kind of elevating, you know, kind of our expectations inside. And like I said, a little bit more range, I think, on both sides of the ball, and then younger, but the upside of that is like maybe a little bit more on the skill side of the football.
And what are the goals this year for the Jags?
Always to be competitive, Pete. You know what I mean? We're going to go in there and put on our work. W&L those are great when they come your way, but working hard and these kids doing the right thing and trying to build a program for the kids behind them coming up. I mean, that's the goal. That's the goal.
And how nice is it for you? I mean, you're going into year 3.
Sure, starting 3 here in Guthrie. I think, you know, as far as getting to know the people and the kids and, you know, siblings, and figuring out kind of, I guess, what my tendencies are as far as what I expect and the work and the weights and everything else. I mean, people, for the most part, seem like they've, you know, come together and they support it, right? They like the fact that we're working them and, you know, setting them up for hopefully success as we kind of move through. And that's all of the sports that we offer. So people are buying in. We appreciate it.